numbers gal. Mike's a numbers guy. We can appreciate numbers, but I don't understand handing over a decision like we can't afford it. We can't put kids first. The teachers can't get what they need. We can't work out the benefits. I just don't understand it. And to ask these folks night after night after night to ask you to please schedule a meeting. We've heard that fact-finding is coming, fact-finding is coming, fact-finding is coming. I can only tell these people for so long, the leadership can tell these people for so long, be patient. Be patient. It's coming. It'll settle. No one in NJA history has gone forever, I promise. I don't know how long I can say that. I don't care if it's over $200,000, if it's over $1.2 million, I don't know what it is that the problem is. I don't. But somehow, the power is sitting with somebody who said no. Called the attorney and said, school board attorney and said, it doesn't work. We're here tonight to ask you to say, how can it work? And get it done. And stop dragging feet because you're killing this school's energy, spirit, enthusiasm, and talent.
Hi, Bruce Ellman, Chester Township. I'm a 1976 graduate of Mendham High School. My two brothers, my sister went there. My wife, no, we don't mention her family, but we've got a long history with Mendham High School. And the first point I'd like to talk on would be on Mr. Mitchell. This guy, I don't know how many of you were around for Tony Minio, but Tony took a lot of people a long way, and Ben Mitchell is filling his shoes very well. That's all I'll say on that. On the contract issue, it's time to walk around the other end of the bowl and grab it by the horns now. Thank you.
I wonder if there's a delay tactic going on here to see what Chris Christie will do. Just an observation.
Mike Scabletti, Mendham High School. We've heard students and parents and teachers tell wonderful stories about Ben Mitchell, and I'm sure that you'll continue to hear more because there are plenty more out there, positive things about him. We've heard teachers and residents and parents talk about these schools and the passion and what it can mean to all of us. There are more Ben Mitchells. We are schools filled with Ben Mitchells and Laura Pelzonis and Jeff DeLillos and whatnot. We don't want to be Randolph and Belvedere. Gentlemen before mentioned our rankings in New Jersey Monthly, and those have come up before. Washington Post just this weekend, Mendham High School number 5 in the state, West Morris Central number 10 in the state, above Chatham, above these Summit, and a few, and all the others. That doesn't come out of nowhere. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it can certainly burn in a day. We hear the fiddle music. This is a boat. We're all in this boat. There are some people in the boat that might not want to be in the boat. But if you fight over control of the boat, don't let us drift into the iceberg, because the iceberg is coming. Are you going to lead, or are you going to steer? Because what have I learned in the past 2.5 years? I've learned about caring. I learned that the kind of caring we do in the classroom, the reward for that is you'll try to cut our health care. I learned about values. That what we value apparently doesn't matter, because the board doesn't think what we do matters. Doesn't think that we have value, that we're worth less than we were before, that we're worth less. I don't think we're worthless. I don't think our students are worthless. I don't think our schools are worthless. But I think 2.5 years of stalling is worthless, has not accomplished anything. I learned about patience. I learned that the board thinks patience is a weakness. They had no trouble settling with the administrators, giving them 10 grand raises, 2.5 years, and that took them a month. If you can do that in a month, why can't you do a fair contract with us in 2.5 years? I learned about mistakes. I learned that, staying up late and on the weekends and grading papers and correcting student mistakes, the real mistake was becoming a teacher for this district. No contract means you have no respect for us. Why should we respect you? No contract means there's no incentive. No contract means you don't care. If you don't care about us, how can we care about you? How can we care about our students? If the students don't care about us, then how is this a school? It's a boat that's sinking. This sign says great teachers, great schools. Don't make us change the sign. Get it done.
Hi, my name is Christina Stano, and I spoke before, but I was a little bit emotional, so I couldn't get out all the words I wanted to. Mr. Mitchell is a terrific teacher. Last year, during my study halls, I wouldn't stay in my study hall. I really had a chance to work on homework and whatever I was doing, because I only had maybe one friend last year that was truly my friend. I told Mr. Mitchell this, and he pulled me into his lunchroom, room during lunch, and he introduced me to so many people sitting here today, and there's more, and I met Kim and everybody here, and they're all here, and Mr. Mitchell is supportive. He has such an open heart, and he's so nice to everybody, even all the teachers, students, and truly everybody is going to miss him. Thank you.
My name is Arlene Paulson. I live in Washington Township, and I teach at Westmore Central. As a 30-year resident of Washington Township, and a parent of 3 graduates of Westmore Central, I'm concerned about the effect of our stalled negotiations, what it will have on our property values, and the ability to sell our homes. If I plan to retire in 5 years or so and maybe consider moving somewhere else, I'm concerned that people won't want to move to Long Valley anymore, because most of the people move here because of our excellent school system. Many residents moved here because of the excellent reputation of our schools, including the cohesiveness of our teachers, administrators, parents, and the Board of Ed. This relationship has been tarnished by the inability of the board to focus on the education of our students as their top priority. The budget is passed. The state has increased the allotment of funds to our district. What is the holdup? I've been a business teacher at Westmore Central for the past 9 years. As we teachers struggle to make ends meet and exhaust ourselves taking on jobs outside of school, how can our teaching effectiveness not suffer? We've had the same salary for the past 3 years, and our net income has decreased. We've been patient, but are no longer willing to suffer at the hands of an inconsiderate board. It is time to negotiate in earnest and arrive at a fair settlement before the end of the school year. Thank you.
I'm also here on behalf of Mr. Mitchell. I can't speak more eloquently than the students did. I have one concern. If this is a done deal, you've so quickly assured us that the robotics program, the technology program will continue. Will you be able to put this program in place next year? My son is a junior. He's on the original 2008-2009 team, Mr. Mitchell's first team. He's gone to world competitions 3 years in a row. Next year, when he's a senior and needs this on his resume, can you guarantee you will have this in place next year?
The program preceded Mr. Mitchell, and we will continue.
No, I understand was a privately run program before Mr. Mitchell.
It's founded by students in the school.
We're pretty sure that it was a privately run program before Mr. Mitchell was not part of Mendham High School.
It was founded by
It was
students.
an outside club outside the school.
Right.
Right.
As most of our clubs.
Right, so Mr. Mitchell started this program in 2008, 2009, brought it to world competitions that year. Do you understand that this year my son was on a team that was picked by the first seeded team in an international competition? Do you know what an accomplishment that is? Not football, not wrestling, not basketball. He's a brilliant, future engineer, future computer science geek. Come on. I want to know that this program is in place next year. We're not going to rank number 5 in Washington Post if you're letting programs like this go down the drain. Thank you.
The club is still in place. I'm trying, sorry. The club is still in place for next year, and it will be supported.
And it will go seamlessly. It will pick up again in September. That's the
Yes, it will
reassurance
pick up
I
in
need.
September. It will pick up in September, yes.
Okay.
You don't have a teacher yet for
Could you
this.
state your name and town, please?
Just Latin in Mendon Township. I've talked to the principal. I know that there is no teacher in place for this program. I don't know how in September you will have the doors open, ready for these kids who desperately need this because they're not in football, they're not in baseball. This is a program that we need in our schools throughout our country. We need the sciences and technology, and you're just getting rid of it. Because I don't know how you're gonna have a teacher in place who's gonna take that on, the way he did.
And Julie Carrera, Chester, and my son goes to West Morris as well. And I also think that there was a big learning curve for that advisor to know that VEX robot community. Not just some, teacher walking into the position saying, having the students have to teach the advisor, because there's got to be a huge learning curve to know really what the ins and outs of that club.
Appreciate that, and all I can say is that the district continues to support the club and the programs.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Well, I just wanted to say something as a response to all the teachers who are here, not only from my school, but also from Mendham. And I think I speak on behalf of all the students at this school and at Mendham as a student representative to say that I appreciate all the work that you guys have done. It's been a very interesting year sitting on the board and seeing all the work that you not only put on here, but also once you go home. And I know there's a lot of research, and even just going through this packet, there's a lot within here. And I think everyone appreciates the work, but I really do think that it's important that at least before the start of next year, that something is settled for the teachers, because I truly mean it. As Mrs. Castro said before, I wouldn't be going to the school that I'm going to next year if it wasn't for this school. When I was looking to start high school, we talked about with my parents going to a private school, but economically and also just based on the teachers who were in this school, I didn't think that I would be getting a better education at one of those schools. And now I'm going to a college where I am competitive with all these private schools students. I was just talking to Mr. Nicolosi, I don't know if he's here, the other day after my class, which happens quite often. I'm sorry, Mrs. White, I don't know if she's here. I'm often late to her class because of this. The relationships that I have with all my teachers here are incredible. I went and talked to the representative for my college in admissions about what made me a candidate and why I was accepted. And she said one of the strongest parts of my application was my letters of recommendation. That you don't find really strong letters of recommendation from public school kids because it's hard to build that relationship. And I don't think it's just me. I think a lot of my students, a lot of the students at this school have been able to do that with a few teachers here because everyone here is really interested in our education. So I not only want to thank the teachers on all of the work that you guys have put into my 4 years and all of my peers' 4 years, but I also want to thank you because I know it's very frustrating what you're going through, and I could hear a lot of frustration, but I've not sensed that in the classroom. I understand it's really upsetting that some teachers are considering maybe leaving their position, but I have not felt I have not felt outed by this at all in the classroom. There has not been a difference in the level of teaching. There's not been a difference in the excitement that you show us. I think it is incredible the